Hi and welcome to Spice and Pans. Today we'll be cooking Korean style crispy sweet and sour chicken or Tangsuyuk. So let's start cooking. Now we'll prepare the batter for our chicken. I have with me over here 150 grams of potato starch or potato flour. If you do not have potato flour, you can use tapioca flour, sweet potato flour, corn flour, not a problem. We'll add in 120 milliliters of water. Mix them up well. We need to rest this solution later just to separate the flour from the water. Right? You just need to mix them up well first. Make sure that it's very easy to stir. Right? We need to rehydrate this flour. This dish originated from China, but I think it's now more popular in Korea than China. So once it's easy to mix like this, we'll just set this aside and rest this. Don't stir anymore. We need to separate the flour from the water. I'll show you how it looks like in a while. Let's just set this aside. Now we'll do a very light seasoning on our chicken. I have with me over here 480 grams of boneless and skinless chicken leg, cut into thin strips like this. We'll add in 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce, a few dashes of white pepper, as well as the stem of 1 spring onion, just lightly smashed. If you want to add in smashed garlic, no problem at all, right? We'll just mix them up well. Once you have mixed them up well, we'll just let them rest for another 20 minutes, and then we can start to assemble our dish. Now we'll prepare our sauce. I have with me over here 50 milliliters of white vinegar or rice vinegar. Add in 40 grams of sugar, as well as 40 milliliters of water. Very simple, and this is our sauce. Just mix them up well. Once our potato starch has settled down, I'll show you the next step. We have rested the potato starch solution for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. If you were to look carefully, you can see that there's water on top of this solution right now. And this is what we want. We'll pour this water away. Without too much movement, let's just pour the water away. And this remaining one is what we need. Let's just put the water aside. Now we just need to mix this with our chicken, but before that, let's just remove our spring onion inside here. Right now we'll pour this in. The purpose of removing the water is because we want to have a very thick solution like this, so that this will be super crispy. This is supposed to be something like a jerky, very crispy, and a little bit on the hard side. The more you chew, the more flavorful this will be. So we just scrape it, right? It'll be a little bit tough. Just scrape it up slowly. You can use a spoon if you want to, or your finger, right? If it's a little bit dry, you can always add a little bit of water just to dislodge the base. A little bit more water. We need this batter to be very, very thick. Then we mix everything up. Normally for this dish they use pork, but for our Muslim viewers and followers, I'm using chicken so that everyone can enjoy this dish. Once you mix them up well, just add a little bit of oil so that later when we deep fry them, you can actually separate them easily. Mix them up well again. And now we'll go and heat up some oil and start to fry our chicken. Now we'll deep fry our chicken, heat up some oil. Now we'll test whether our oil is hot enough or not. Using a bamboo chopstick, just put it in. Right, we need to see bubbles rising up like this. Right, that means the oil is starting to get heated up. And this is when we'll fry our chicken. I'm using medium heat right now, so don't turn up the heat too much. Now, give it a good mix again. Individually, put piece by piece down, like this. Right, don't overcrowd the pan. Do not worry if they stick together because you can actually separate them later. Don't move them around. We need the crust to form first. We'll be doing double fry on this because we want this to be really crispy. If the quantity is too much, you can fry this in 2 batches or 3 batches, depending on how big is your wok or your pot when you're deep frying them. We need to deep fry them until they are lightly browned before we do the double fry. You can prepare this as a snack on its own, or you can prepare this as one of the dishes in the Chinese meal. Now before we turn this or flip this around or stir them up, just use your tongs or your chopstick and feel. If it feels a little bit hardened, that means the crust has more or less formed and we can now turn it to the other side. Do not worry if this sticks together right now, because we can easily separate this later. Fry them for a little while more. For the first fry, this is almost done. If you were to look carefully at the batter, it's actually a little bit whitish, yellowish color. This is because we are using starch instead of plain flour. Plain flour can brown easily, right? But this is what we want because for this dish itself, it calls for starch rather than plain flour. So now we just separate them up first, right? It's quite easy to separate them up. Fry them for a minute or two again. The first fry is almost done. Just need to shift them around to make sure that the crusts are properly cooked. This will take a little bit of time, and do not use high heat right now because we want to get rid of the moisture in the chicken itself. This dish is supposed to be like a jerky, so it's a little bit crispy with a little bit of hardening on the meat. Right, using your tongs, you feel around on the crust. If they are hardened up like this, and let you hear the sound, right, that means it's ready to be removed from the oil. Remember not to turn off the flame. We'll just remove this first. We'll fry our second batch, and then after that, we'll do our second fry. Right, look at how beautiful this is right now at this moment. I'll come back and show you the next step after I completed the whole batch of this chicken. I'll see you back in a while. Now we'll double fry our chicken using medium-high heat or high heat. Heat up your oil until it's slightly smoking. Then we'll add in all our chicken together. This step will make the chicken very crispy, as well as dislodge any oil that's inside the chicken. You'll just need to fry this for approximately 30-45 seconds. Right, move them constantly. We'll fry this to a very beautiful golden brown color. This is the color that we want, and if you were to feel it with your tongs, it's actually kind of crispy and hard. So we'll just remove this from the oil. Remember not to turn off the flame when you are removing this. Alright, let it drain. It's going to be so good. Once this is done, we'll remove most of the oil, leaving just a little bit of oil behind, and then we'll prepare our sauce. Now we're going to prepare the sauce or put the dish together. The pan is very hot right now, so don't turn on the flame. We have to be safe. So with a little bit of oil, just add in the syrup that we have prepared just now, or the sauce that we have prepared just now. Just pour it in first. Now we'll turn on the flame to medium-low or medium and cook it down a little bit. We'll need to cook this until small bubbles formed. You can see bubbles forming, but this is not yet. We need the whole pot to be full of bubbles. So just keep stirring it. This dish is on the sweet and a little bit on the sour side also. Excellent. I think a lot of people will love this, especially kids. And as you cook, the vinegar will actually evaporate and it will become less sour. So just before you put the pork in, people will add in 1 or 2 tablespoons of white vinegar again. But for me, I like to add in a little bit of lemon juice for that fruity freshness. I've been stirring this for about a minute or so. This is the result that we want. As you stir, you can see a lot of small bubbles forming. Right? Now we add in our lemon juice. This is the juice from half a lemon. Just splash it by the side. Give it one last final stir. Turn off the heat. Put in your chicken and mix them up well. And now we just serve this and it's time for our lunch. And now the dish is done. Let's have a taste. I love this beautiful lemony fragrance that's coming out from here. You hear how crispy this is? The tartness, the sweetness, this is perfect. Give me a can of beer and this will be my meal. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like our video. Do click like on our video and do subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and now it's your turn to cook. See you. Bye bye.